Hey y'all, I'm back again. It's Lawanda and welcome to my channel. If you like my content, please like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so when I post videos, y'all can get them. But here it is now again. Should teen murders receive life without parole? Now, let's take a look through this, and this time I'm going to read it because it's nothing here, you know, or you all can read it yourself. But as we can see, um, the latest update, this was March 19, 2012. So, should teen murderers receive life without further question? Several non-justices of the United States Supreme Court are parents, ranging from Justice Antonia Scalia, who has 9 children, excuse me, y'all, who has 9 children, to Justice Clarence Thomas, who has one. The most eight, excuse me, I'm sorry, most of the 8 are either old enough or lucky enough to be grandparents. So when court sits Tuesday morning to hear 2 vital criminal law cases about juvenile sentencing, it's not like that any of the theories or justice we'll hear about contradictions and complex complexities of teenage minds will come as much of a surprise. Okay? So, with that, a young child, serving time, of course, they're going to be institutionalized to the point where that's the place that they already know. Outside of jail, they wouldn't be able to cope because they are constitutionalized. Now, I don't think seriously a child should have life in prison unless, depending on the crimes, if they are out there doing murder after murder, robbery after robbery, stealing cars after cars. I mean, just an ongoing thing for them, and just won't quit. Then yes, they are a menace to society. They just not supposed to be out here with us. And with that being said, we're gonna keep on with the reading. This is where, in other Supreme Court terms, if there were no litany of monumental excuse me, political cases and social causes on the docket, America must pay great deal more attention to Jackson versus Hobbs and Miller versus Alabama. Together, they raises the profound question of whether the Eighth Amendment proscriptions against cruel and unusual punishment. Yes, that is cruel and unusual punishment. Again, depending on the crime. If it's multiple crime of the same thing, yes, that's an ongoing thing. But precludes a life sentence without parole for teenagers who are 14 years old or younger when they are convicted of murder. My son is 15, going on 16, murder. Yeah, so, he's been in since '05 and this is 2018. So you do the math. So yes, this is what I'm struggling with here today, y'all. And together, the two cases requires the adjustment to examine the scope of their recent ruling in Germany versus Graham versus Florida, a 2010 decision in which the court held by a narrow margin that juvenile offenders could not be sentenced to life in prison without parole or non-homicidal crimes. Should the same analysis hold whether murder can be committed? Does it matter when the young teenager commit a murder actually pull the trigger? More fundamentally, the court has decided whether the nature of the crime trumps the nature of the criminal or vice versa. At the heart of the matter, the two men now in their 20s, who were 14 when they got into big trouble in 2003 after a brief life of pain and misery in which he was abused by his father and tried to commit suicide 6 times. Evan Miller was convicted of a jury in Alabama of murder of a man, Cole Cannon. Miller beat Cannon with a baseball bat. Then Miller and his friend, a 16-year-old named Kobe Smith, set fire to Cannon. Excuse me, y'all. Trailer home. Cannon could not escape the fire and died. In Arkansas, meanwhile, Cottrell Jackson did not have much better than Miller. Jackson's mother and brother were incarcerated. His mother's boyfriend was abusive and Jackson was frequently in trouble with the law. In 1999, just 2 weeks after he turned 14, he participated in a robbery of a video store when the clerk, Laurie Trump, refused to hand over money. One of Jackson's accomplices, an older teenager, shot her to death. Both Jackson and Miller were given life sentences without the possibility of parole. The folks at the Equal Justice Initiative, a non-profit organization that need raising, client Jackson and Miller represent a small class of criminal defendants, and that is different from all the rest. To the EJI life sentence without parole, a young teenager teenager, even those accused of the most heinous crimes are actually sentenced to death in prison, a punishment that argue is both cruel and unusual in modern America jurisprudence. Excuse me if I pronounced it incorrectly. In their briefing, Miller of the EJI argues, as a class, children of 14 and younger are inherently characterized by internal attributes and external circumstances which prelude the finding of the degree of culpability that would make their consignment of lifelong incarcerated with no hope of release. Constitutionally permissible under 8th Amendment excessive analysis, there are no less true in murder causes than other cases in violent crimes by young teens. Okay. Okay, I'm going to stop right there on the reading, and I'm going to let you all finish going on with your reading. And I'm going to take it slow because I have to get something to drink. I have a cold, and the cough is dehydrating me, so I have to keep my voice. I'm sorry, I thought I could be going with this, but you all can go on from here and finish with this if so. So you can just stop, press pause and read it. Let me just lose my voice here, y'all. Please excuse me. Okay, that's the end of that. Again, like I said, y'all can press pause. You all can read over it. I'm sorry, but my voice is leaving. So you tell me what you think about this. Like, share, and subscribe. And let me know what you think down below. And don't forget to hit that notification bell to know when I go live or upload a video. So y'all be blessed. And y'all walk in peace. And remember, God is good.